Welcome back, everyone, to Savannah by Night here on the Midnight Dispatch. While it is a new channel, we have been playing together for a while, and some of us do play a few things elsewhere. So before we get into tonight's shenanigans, Dreamy, where are you on Tuesdays?
You can find me at Top Down Tabletop Tuesdays at 7:30 Central. We have just completed reconvening with the home army and we're being sent back into enemy territory to cause mischief and mayhem and all kinds of spy things.
And what is the state of your boyfriend?
Emotional as always.
Hmm,
It's a day that ends in Y.
got it, got it, got it. What did he almost do in front of the kink? No, never mind. You should go and find the backlog and check that out. Sam, where are you on Fridays?
On Fridays, I'm streaming at twitch.tv/smoggles11, which is my gaming channel. I haven't determined yet at what time I'll be doing that on Friday because obviously it's Halloween, so I got some Halloween plans. And I will, but you know what? I'm going to say this right now. If you go to our Discord to the gaming channel, recommend a horror game from this year for me to play because it's Halloween. I want to play something spooky on my channel. I am, based on Graham's look, I'm forbidding him from making a suggestion because I feel I'll be too scared.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Wasn't released this year.
Doesn't matter. You're still gonna play it. You've been voluntold. I think there's a remaster of Alien Isolation.
They'll remaster. Literally, I think like the week after I did a playthrough of oh god, the other sci-fi horror thing with Isaac and the various
Dead Space.
Dead Space. After a few weeks after I played Dead Space on stream, they announced the remaster of it, and I was like, "How dare you!"
Martel, where can we find you monthly on Fridays?
Monthly on Fridays. In fact, the 14th is just passed down. 14th of November, we will be back in the Star Wars universe, back in the den of homeless children, doing just everything we can to make sure nothing bad happens to them.
So, out of curiosity, percentage-wise, how many of these kids are your own clones?
0. Wait.
There we go. Got him. But this weekend, Friday and or Saturday, depending on certain circumstances, we're going to be in the Discord, or at least I will be, trying to watch a movie or two of the spooky and or spoopy variety. So come on into the Discord and hang out with me or whoever shows up that night, which you can find if someone is posting in the chat right now. But if there are no other announcements and no other delays to your fates this evening. No? Okay then. Let's tell a fucking vampire story. Last time on Savannah by Night, the near entirety of the kindred court of Chatham County filtered into the Johnny Mercer Theater to attend an opera conducted by one of their own, the Malkavian Dalton Reeves. Our fledgling vampires one by one found their seats, some with far more lavish arrangements than others, and the show began in earnest. The performance before them started with the typical presentation of the romantic, noble lead and the darling ingenue. But the audience was swiftly made aware that this soprano was anything but innocent, as she sought to weave herself through the fabric of high society and unravel it when it suited her, including her would-be suitor, a man of status and heritage, all revealed to be a lie as his father drunkenly spilled the secrets of his forged life. All the position and privilege of a merchant prince without the fortune or deeds to back it up. That colossal lie, the only thing this son stands to inherit. But as that plot thickens, let's return to the opera house itself, as Ellie has decided intermission, a time when many would have out their phones, is the perfect time for a Nosferatu to be caught roaming the halls in all this elegance. So,
When you say it that way, it sounds like a bad idea, and I don't appreciate that.
why, whatever do you mean? So you've been allowed to leave, but there
Yes,
is a bit of a time limit.
there
Well,
is.
there is approximately 15 minutes before curtains go back up. You've been given 10.
Correct.
So whatever interaction you're going to have has to be sharp, has to be decisive, and it has to be now. No
Great.
faffing about.
I'm gonna stroll around at a leisurely pace. So I'm going to head to, since I already know where Lash's box is, I am going to make a beeline towards it while also we already know the cameras are disabled, so my main thing is looking out for phones and just doing that kind of like, like a little bit of ducking and dodging if I see anyone like with phones out.
Mm-hmm.
Um
So
More
this is how we're,
specifically if I see someone like this, if
yeah.
someone's just doing this, that's a whole.
So we're going to be doing this a couple of ways. First, you're going to tell me what exactly is your disguise for this evening.
So my disguise is, I mentioned last session that I have a suit on.
Mm-hmm.
So mine is kind of a little bit of a prep boy kind of look. So it is well, I would say the best description is in that in that in that movie in the young adult romance novel. It is the brother who is the rebellious brother of the really preppy rich family, who the rebelliousness comes out in the fact that he has darker hair in the blonde family and lets his beard grow out a little bit as opposed to keeping it perfectly clean shaven, and looks like he hasn't slept maybe in a couple nights. And so there's that kind of like well put together uh, hair. Maybe, you know what? It's going to be Ted Mosby spikes because I've been watching How I Met Your Mother. That's actually placed in exactly where he wants it to be. A little bit of 5 o'clock shadow, and just a little bagginess under the eyes. But definitely still looks like he belongs there but is tired of the high and mighty class.
Despite being part of it.
Exactly.
Hmm. Okay. So that's the outward disguise
Yes.
to fool whoever is using their eyes to perceive
Mm-hmm.
you. However, you want to be cognizant of phones being out. So this is less about you being stealthy and more about you being aware. So I'm going to have
Yes.
you roll perception alertness at a 6.
Perception and alertness and a 6.
Actually, we're going to make this a 7.
Hey, I got something that I'm sure you're gonna be shocked by.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use a willpower
Okay.
for this.
Might want to mark that down.
I have. I have indeed marked that down. I am so glad I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus it okay. That is 2 successes including the willpower.
Okay.
And yes, there was a 10 that was canceled out by a 1.
Mm-hmm. For all you know, you are able to sidestep and Fred Astaire your way in between people holding their phones up, taking selfies. You're reasonably sure that you have threaded that particular needle. Reasonably. Now, the question that I would have for you is, are you sort of looking away, so just like casually just sort of scratching the back of your head, trying to just, even if someone were to catch the back of it, they're not getting a face?
Yeah, it's very much a like as casually as possible, just want to be having turned away from whatever is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um so it does, because the last thing you want to do is a phone goes towards you and you dive out of the way, because then that immediately raises suspicions.
Hmm. I feel like it's only appropriate at a music venue for the Streisand effect to hit, but so you've made it down the stairs. You've been presumably dodging cameras. You see a curtained entrance to a boxed seat. What do you do?
And there's no one guarding there's no one like a Cyrus who is like watching the outside.
Cyrus was on the inside to prevent anyone
So I
getting
would,
through, or maybe more importantly, preventing them from leaving when they shouldn't. But this was an allowance for you.
yes.
So you don't see anyone. Not yet.
Great. So I'm going to um while keeping my wits about me, I'm going to walk towards the curtained entrance, and it's going to be that it's going to be that kind of like peek um peek through the curtain, like uh the high school actors do when they're trying to see if their parents are in the audience, and just like kind of peeking, like pulling a little bit and just peeking through to see if there's someone who first of all is going to be like, hello, who are you, or if there's no one there and it's just, and also keeping an eye on anyone who has their phones
Hmm.
about them.
Very specific detail to pluck, isn't it? It's almost as if maybe you might be speaking from some experience. No?
Yes,
No.
my very real human experiences
Hmm.
in high school theater that I've had before.
So you try to peek in. From here, you can see, of course, that the house lights are up because it's intermission.
Mm-hmm.
You are sort of peeking through a sliver of parted fabric. And it seems only appropriate that that split of fabric reveals a second one as you see a split that reveals a thigh. And as your eyes dance upwards, oh, now who do we have here?
Miss Miss Lash, you wish to see me? And yes, Ellie is indeed trying to
Trying to put on a voice.
deepen their voice a little bit.
Okay. For grins, we're gonna have you roll something else here.
Good, great.
Let's see how convincing this act of yours is. We're gonna go with charisma and performance, which I'm sure you don't have much in.
I am so charismatic. But my performance is at a real healthy 0 dots.
Okay. So, roll your charisma. I had a 7.
Two successes.
What'd you get?
I had a 10, and then I rolled that again, and it was a 7.
Ah. I'm sorry, we were looking for an 11.
Well,
So, perhaps it's an allowance on her part, or whoever you are basing this pastiche on. Instead of sounding like, what's the actor? Josh Radnor for,
yeah,
what's the Ted Mosby.
Ted Mosby.
You
Yeah.
actually sound like the older, more mature counterpart played by Bob Saget. And she peers at you and she just, well, don't be shy, darling.
I start to make my way into the box itself.
Mm-hmm. You do see at the moment it is devoid of anyone but Lash, who is poised as she leans against the wall, as if she was just waiting for you to make your appearance. As if a little bit of an ambush. Did I send for you? Or are you here to make a grand impression?
Well, you did ask for someone to be bold in making their approach to you.
I did, didn't I? You misunderstood something, though. I never ask for anything.
That is a misstatement on my part.
At that point, she does step away from her perch and she slowly walks around you like a shark examining a potential meal. And as this Doppler effect moves around you, so you made one bold move. Now what? You are here. What do you want?
I was hoping to learn a few more lessons.
You're in one.
Hmm.
What are you learning from it?
I'm learning that working in, sorry. Um, I'm learning that part of confidence is more portraying it than maybe you're feeling at the moment.
Hmm. That's one takeaway. Not a wrong one, but not the intended.
Hmm.
She smiles as she leans in from your right side, teeth dangerously close to your ear, or the projected image of what that ear is. I know which box you were sitting in. I also know the rules that you and those of your ilk have to abide by when here. I wanted to see if I could yank your chain to get you to break those rules. And the Doppler effect continues as she steps around you to finally face you properly. Here's the lesson you should be learning about yourself. Who holds your chain? Me, Mason, or yourself?
I don't tend to do things that I don't already want to do.
Oh, darling, you wanted to see me so badly. How touching. As she says, she's just fingertips along the underside of your chin. If she's bothered by the Nosferatu deformity beneath the illusion, she does not show it.
It's a we are alike in multiple ways.
At that, she does quirk an eyebrow, tilt her head, as if waiting for you to explain.
Part of being able to yank someone's chain is being able to know just the right amount of information about them. You say, actually, yanking the chain. I usually think of it more of finding a pressure point.
Oh, well, I believe the familiar colloquialism is different strokes for different folks.
Hmm. I've been focusing so much on being able to use others' secrets against them, but one of the reasons I came to you was the ability to, well, extract those secrets in a less technical way.
At that, she almost seems a bit disappointed. If you think there's nothing technical behind this, perhaps you need a more enforced lesson.
The technicality, when I say technical, I mean technological.
Hmm. Thinking of this as a technical skill might help you bridge the gap from your precious laptop to turning someone else into your lap dog. Knowing which keys to tap in the right order as fingertips are dancing across your shoulder.
At this, Graham,
Hmm.
do I have a sense in how much time I have left?
I'm going to let you decide that.
Great.
You will, if you can tear your eyes away from the predator in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
you would notice people are beginning to filter towards their seats down below, but only if you're paying attention. If your genome soldier cone of vision has not been taken up entirely by Ava Lash.
I would say that is a thing that is consistently in the back of my mind, so I think I
Mhm.
will notice that. And turn and uh turn to Miss Lash and go. This conversation was fruitful, Miss Lash. It looks like others are making their way to their seats, so it looks like I must find my way to mine.
And she tilts her head, looks around. The things that I would do to that seat. Off you pop.
Before I go, I would like to send. Mason sends his regards.
Oh, that darling.
And
Give him one of these for me, would you?
sure will. And Ellie exits the box.
Okay. Now, based on your previous rolls, I think you get back to the seats just fine. But as you sit down, Petra is angling her opera glasses squarely at you once again. But only after Cyrus let you step a foot past the threshold, glaring down and keenly through as he seems to just be steering you around him by subtly turning you with his glare for you to find your seat.
Oh, God, the amount of space. Okay, it's fine. Ellie's holding so many like one shots back right now.
Ooh, growth. But as you take your seat, anything else you'd like to add before the curtains rise?
I would like to say, turn to Mason and I'll say, boss, I extended your regards to Miss Lash, and she says,
Lila is almost cry cackling at this. Mason just sort of has this bemused smirk. What I thought. Was it worth it?
think I learned what I needed to. I appreciate the responsibility given, and the allowance, understanding the risks at play. I will do my best not to upset the balance of things in the future.
At that, he says nothing further. But it doesn't take a few dots in awareness to feel whatever vestigial hairs remain on the back of your neck are standing up as someone is clearly staring at you.
Okay, I have some people to talk to afterwards. Maybe run from. We'll find out. One of the two things has happened.
First one, then the other. But shall we get on with the show? Okay. Eventually, the curtains begin to glacially lower. Nope, this is the wrong thing. My apologies. That's a bit later. 12 pages of a document, folks. Things are about to get a little wibbly wobbly. Do apologize. Now, on a thrum of notes and rising voices, the curtains rise with them as the second half of our cooperative opera begins. The tale of confused, misplaced, shattered identities, viciousness, and an ingenue that is anything but. Who would like to go first?
I know how I want it to end.
Okay,
So I'm
we'll
gonna
come
wait.
back. We'll come back to you. Who's feeling like they want to add to this narrative?
I think we have to start Act 2 with a kind of twisted love song between the ingenue and her romantic interest that is full of that has like a very stark dichotomy between his very sincere feelings that he's voicing to her and his excitement for, the future of their love, and her excitement to step upon his back as she ascends. And so it's kind of a double entendre in a way of like, we love each other, but it's a different type of love.
And at this stage, I'm presuming he is utterly sincere. She's still playing her game. But if any feelings begin to creep into the game she was previously dispassionately playing? Has she started to become the mask, or is it still just all frothy business for her?
Maybe as the song goes on its arc, she kind of realizes his cunning in his own way. And maybe at least a respect.
A respected pawn is still just a pawn at the end of the day. Just means that she might give him a nicer smear of lipstick on his grave when she sends him to his death. Who's next?
I feel like there might be a moment because the father is older. Maybe the father recognizes that it could be that either he takes ill or maybe there was a, you know what, there was a hunting accident. There was a hunting accident, and he is fatally wounded, and there's not much the doctors can do about it. And in that moment, he has a realization that he would not want to end his life without telling his son the truth. And if he tells his son the truth, that could foil the leading lady's plans, because it's all based on that being kept a secret. And so the father makes a decision in that moment. I'm going to do one final good deed before I go, and I'm going to tell my son the truth.
Question is, intent and outcome are not always the same,
Exactly.
and operas are often based on tragedy. Does he actually get to tell him the truth, or does he die with his intent?
I think you should tell him because I know the tragedy that comes.
Okay. Who's next? No? Okay. Not everyone has to go. It's fine. We did a lot of this last week. Dreamy.
Okay, herein lies the tragedy.
Give us the coda.
As her plan begins to unravel, more and more of her schemes come out. And there is what feels very much like a trial scene. And as each new piece of evidence is thrown at her, another spotlight is on her. Another one from this angle, over here. And you begin to see her mask crack. And as more and more fill, as this chorus rounds out the sound, at the very end, the light covers the stage to the point where you can't see anything, and then it immediately cuts to black. So the audience is left wondering, has she stepped into the light and is now absolved of her sins, that the truth has come out? From a vampiric angle, has she been consumed by the light to be no more? So there are different interpretations on how it ended and what happened to her.
Well, we'll leave it at a intentional uncertainty. Eventually, the curtains begin to glacially lower on a rhythmic pulse of strings and scintillating percussion that gradually fades off like the audio equivalent of a pulsating ember that's slowly dying as the audience is left to watch and listen to this orchestrated death rattle that finally ends the second the curtains splash across the stage. And as one din dies, another screams to life as applause erupts all around you.
I'd like to add that that final, if she cries out as the light is hitting her,
Hmm.
the strings match the final note that she makes and then fade. Once we can't see her, there's still that thin little bit of presence.
A little bit of that ringing echo.
Mm.
But as is so often the case with the rest of this performance, it is sharp, it is precise, and even the echo is orchestrated, and it cuts off when he desires it to. So that you can be free to realize it is over, to appreciate the end, whether you understand it or not, to either bask with your fellow audience members or to allow the performers to bask in the applause. So the question I would have for each of you, do you join the thunderous applause? Do you sit in your seat, arms crossed? Well, I didn't like that at all. There was no explosions. Or do you buy into it all?
Poppy definitely will clap and probably standing ovation a little bit with her fellow friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep, everyone in your box is standing, including Clarice. Who else?
Cora will also stand and applaud with the crowd. She may make a little comment on it being excellent in an Italian whisper to Savini nearby. And how's her hand doing with the sun metaphor?
I'm going to let you tell me that. You know what? No, I'm going to take that back. With every clap of the hands is a new radiant emission of intense burning pain.
That's
But
what I was gonna say.
but in a way that feels like a memory of pain rather than actual. In a way that it is happening long ago and almost to someone else. There is a disconnect between what your brain wants to scream and what it does and does not experience.
I think Cora's eyes dart from the stage and the performers to herself as she's clapping, but otherwise maintains her composure.
You notice that Costello is enthusiastic in his adoration for the performance.
Can I see what everybody else's reactions are as I start to catch myself and turn
When you
around?
say everyone else, who are you referring to? The other player characters or the court at large?
Both.
We'll start with the player characters. You won't be able to see Ellie by design, but you would... Are you aware that everyone is here, or only just some?
Only just some at this point, though. Cora will have sent a text message before returning to her seat, basically saying, "Hey, if you're here, I'm sure we all look great. Come meet on the mezzanine." And then a little photograph emoji. So she's going to be keeping her eyes open for her friends.
Okay. If you're actively looking, you would, of course, see Kate first because she's the nearest, and she's here with Belle. I will say for Belle's part, she is avidly standing up, adding to the chorus of raucous applause. And you know that she's not a particularly loud person, so for her to be joining this din, well, interpret from that which you'd like. But how is Kate responding?
I'm matching Belle, standing and applauding.
Okay. Artem.
So Artem will probably stand and applaud as well, especially if the other people in the box are doing it. Just kind of doing what he feels like he's supposed to do. Though he will, I guess, lean over to Chris and say, "It's weird being in on the secret, huh?"
And she'll lean in. She's clapping, but she's not as riotous as everyone else. Which one? And that actually kind of like gets her to miss time or clap a little because she's paying more attention to you.
Oh, I don't know. The light, the losing yourself to your schemes in a court. It's all sounds a little familiar, right?
I mean, flying too close to the sun is kind of Grecian, right?
It can be.
She does kind of give you a very quizzical look for a second. I don't take this the wrong way. I'm both surprised and impressed that you kind of got that much from it.
I'm making it up as I go.
Well, fuck, I almost had hope for you for a second.
First mistake.
Ugh. So we'll pop back down. Actually, Cora, what were you going to add to Costello? Oh, sorry, you were also looking for other people, not just the player characters.
Yes, can I see the royal box and how they're reacting? And can I see how Dalton or how my Primogen is reacting?
Dalton is not present at the moment.
Hmm.
The curtains are down. All performers, including the orchestra, are presently hidden. It seems like there's an air of anticipation going on in the room, along with the applause. As you start to look around, you do notice every box that has any audience members in it are applauding. Most are standing. Some in more orderly fashion than others. Now, you wouldn't recognize each and every one of them by face or even name. You might be able to pick up one or two faces, but you wouldn't necessarily know who else is next to them. You don't necessarily know what side of the fence they're on. You would, of course, recognize the prince, because if you don't by now, there's something wrong.
Hmm.
He is doing what is expected of anybody else in high society during, well, a main event. Politely joining the applause. Same thing with Atherton and the rest of those in attendance. Your Primogen is much the same. There is a order and decorum being displayed across anybody who has a certain sense of status or awareness of the social norms. For Kate, since you were paying attention to the mayor earlier, there is a decorum, but there's a little bit more of a joviality in terms of chatting with his neighbors. It's the same thing that you're seeing more among the plebs, where there is the applause, but also a few people uh, leaning in to say something to each other's ear. It's just, this is the time when you can do that. You can still show your respect by giving adulation while not shutting up. And that's fairly universal. You notice one or two more tepid responses, but still joining the chorus. But as Cora had sent out a message I'm assuming you sent it to the group text, not just to one person.
Yes, it was to the group text.
Okay. Does anyone wish to respond to that? No?
Poppy is beholden to Clarice,
Mm-hmm.
and she's realized that. So she has to check with her before doing anything.
Mm-hmm. So what does she say?
Um, Hold on, my brain is the hamsters are going really slow.
You need to get up to speed first. Do you mind if I switch over to someone else briefly then?
Please
Okay.
do.
Artem, you look like you were about to say something.
Artem will respond, "What's a mezzanine?"
That seems right.
Kate,
Chris is actually kind of very quickly looking up mezzanine on the phone because she looks like she's about to say something and realizes that she doesn't quite know. But Kate, you were going to say something.
I was just gonna say, Kate hasn't checked her phone because she's with someone, and everyone who
Mm-hmm.
might text her is here.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Cora's what, a couple of rows in front of her, so
Mm-hmm.
we can see each other and chat on the walkout.
Do you want to make your way over to the fellow fledgling, or do you want to just assume that you're going to filter her out in a moment?
I'm assuming we'll probably filter out at a similar speed.
Okay. So, as the applause begins to ebb down a bit, the curtains open again, and you can see Dalton, who has been facing the orchestra the entire time, is now facing the audience. There are no chairs. Every member of the orchestra is standing, along with any dancers, any of the actors, all neatly arranged in such a way that you can clearly see everyone. He is directing the now renewed applause towards his actors, his orchestra, directing when they bow, take their orders, and with a final bow of himself, the curtains come down once again, signaling that last pulse of applause before everyone can start to filter out, where they break off in the conversations and the post-show, I don't know, celebration, pomp and circumstance. Pockets of conversation are beginning to form both within the seats at the boxes, or beginning to filter out into the lobby. So the question is, to make a long story short, where do people want to start meeting up? If indeed that's what they want to do. To help you out, Poppy, she is not going to be preventing you from joining, only that you are her ride home. And you know that when she gets tired or overpeopled, that's it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Mm-hmm. And while she's not, you get the impression she doesn't want to go hunting for you. She will be checking in with a few people, but you also get the impression you don't want to leave her for too long.
Right. So Poppy will plan to go to the mezzanine. She'll thumbs up emoji to the mezzanine text before quickly going to see DJ Rowley and
Mm-hmm.
Titus.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll loop right back to Clarice.
Okay. So the intent is you're going to meet up with the group, see the business partners, as it were, and then go find Clarice again.
Yes.
Okay. So, other than the fact that Ellie is not part of that group text,
Which I have a remedy for that.
okay. While you're waiting then for people to show up, Do you try to remedy that, or is that something you want to address later?
Also, I do have a little something to speak to um Costello about. Is that something that I should do while I'm like in motion? Or can I just ask him to like hang on for a bit or come with me?
You get the impression he'll be around for a while if you want to check back in with him a little bit after.
Okay,
If you
sounds
want to
good.
go, just do the group thing first.
Yeah, I'll let him know real quick that like hey, we have something to talk about. Don't think I forgot, but um I want to get a photo with the new kids before I go. So,
Oh, of course. I'll be around.
okay. Um I'll start heading off that way and I will try to make eye contact with Kate and Belle.
So let's go over to Kate and Bell. Before we meet up with the group, is there anything that you want to uh, share with Bell, talk about?
I'll just ask her. So have you had your fill of people? Are you ready to leave quickly?
I could mingle.
And as we're like,
Mm.
I'm assuming we're saying this as we're like making our way out of the aisle, and then
Mhm.
I'd like to run into Cora at the edge of the aisle.
Okay. So as the trio intersect,
Belle, Miss Fulton, so what did you think?
I enjoyed it. I like being back at the opera.
Ah, that was a regular thing for you, maybe.
Every once in a while.
Do you know, Frankfurt's a very cultural city too. I've been myself.
Really.
Mm.
at that Bell will chime in. Any particular favorites?
Uh, some people think it's pedestrian, but I really like Carmen.
Nothing wrong with the standard. Are you uh, staying in place, or are you making your way out into the lobby? Like where is it that you're trying to get
We're
to?
making our way out to
Okay.
if Cora wants to like bring up, because you know Kate hasn't responded to the message yet.
Yeah. You know, you'll see it eventually, but I wanted to try to get a photo of us. When do we all dress up like this? You know, you, me, the rest of the new kids. Belle, if you want.
She tilts her head for a little bit for a moment, as if trying to hold back a thought and a smirk. She goes, "Well, it'd be nice to get a different kind of photo."
I think Kate is going to ask a question with her eyebrows, but
Mm-hmm.
does not want to verbalize anything because she has a very vague understanding of what Belle might do
Mm-hmm.
and therefore doesn't want to like push.
Considering that the first time you met her, she was a well, you her personality is fairly subdued,
Mhm.
but she was a very showy, very flaunty grid girl at the
And the
racetrack.
second time I met her, she was just in a trench coat and heels.
Mm-hmm. You presume, but yes,
Hmm.
that's all you could see at the time.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just give some quizzical brows and but not speak on that.
Mm-hmm. So, do you start? Do you all start filtering towards each other?
Uh, Cora's a remarker. Cora will think of the fact that she knows that Belle is a grid girl, and go, it's promotional photos for Titus, not cutting it.
Girl has to diversify. So, Poppy, you are heading downstairs, I assume.
Yeah, I'll head towards the mezzanine.
Okay. Chris is excited to see the rest, but does Artem follow?
Yes. Though before he does, he's gonna ask Miss Stratton one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Stratton, is there an audio recording of this that I could bring home?
She looks like she's about to say something and then stops. Thanks. Oh, yes, of course. There might be. You may have to find Dalton himself,
Let me see. Okay,
but
then I'll do
such
that.
things are not impossible.
Appreciate it. It was very nice to see you this evening.
Take care.
You as well.
Okay. And as the group of new bloods are beginning to meet up, I would like to slide over to Ellie for just a moment. You are, at the moment, much, much more sequestered because, well, everyone's out. And during intermission was a risky but controlled allowance. Now it's just far too much chaos. You are, for the moment, stuck in the box. But you do have people with you. Is there any of them that you want to aggress?
Say it in that verbiage.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, right now, first of all, Ellie's gonna check to make sure that there haven't been any breaches regarding their job,
Hmm.
which they're looking a little more concerningly with because they want to make sure they weren't actually mistakenly
Hmm.
graph and sent out.
Okay.
Um, and then, yeah,
Well, considering Lila isn't freaking out, she is at the moment quite lackadaisical. And you get the impression that if there was an issue and she knew about it, you'd know about it quickly. And if she knew about an issue, Mason and Cyrus would know about it before you did.
is a um is a certain well dressed uh Nosferatu staring daggers at me right now.
Do you want to check?
Man, I really don't. But I will.
Do you sort of peer over your shoulder? Is it trying to make this coy, or are you
I
just
think I'm
turning
definitely,
right
yeah,
around?
I'm definitely making a coy because I'm kind of, I'll, what I will do is I'll make it look like I'm looking back at Cyrus,
Hmm.
but I am very much checking to see if what Petra is doing,
Hmm.
mostly to see where
Oh,
those
you're looking
opera
to see if
glasses are
Petra
faced.
is staring at you, not Cyrus. Is that what you're looking for?
I mean, Cyrus is very well dressed as well,
Hmm.
but Petra is the one I'm more scared of right now.
Really? That's fun.
I'm also scared of heights, but that's a whole different thing.
You're sitting in a very high box. I'm just
Yeah.
pointing that out. You are the correct trajectory for a Nosferatu yeet. So, Cyrus is facing the curtain as if to anticipate anyone else coming in. If there is any animosity at present, it is compartmentalized. Petra, on the other hand,
Uh,
sidles over to you.
oh, she goes over. That's good.
She leans in, whispering into the other ear, opposite of where Ava Lash was. How was it? Was it everything you hoped for?
Yes and no.
We have some time, dear. Use all your words.
I learned some lessons, some in which I find I already know just in a different avenue. Talking about pulling chains and finding out who. I'm going to try not to mix too many metaphors together, but who's able to influence whom.
Mm-hmm. Once again, that ASMR rumble right in your ear.
And I have also learned a little bit more about the tight boundaries we keep for ourselves and have to keep in some ways.
Do you add that last part as a bit of a panic or an intended part of the thought?
Let's see. What was Smogle's actually thinking in that way? I think that was a bit of a panic. Yes.
Mm-hmm. You do see
Because I've been
Mason.
corrected multiple times.
Yeah, you do see sort of Mason slightly begin to tilt his head in your direction just as you're beginning to panic at that last statement, and then his eyes turn away. Well, and she stands up, using your shoulder for leverage. Not that she seems to need it, but it's just a night of protocol. Hmm.
If you have anything you would like me to say to her, I'm sorry I didn't ask last when I left earlier.
Oh, how kind of you to remember. And she draws a fingertip along the line of your jaw. Just seeing you so very nerve-wracked is all that I require right now.
I like to think I've gotten a little better about not being as visibly rattled.
Baby steps, dearie. And she gives you this sort of like mock slap that's meant to be just a little bit of a tease. And then sort of just this caress of the cheek that she lingers just at the fingertips, clawing at you like something sticky before moving away. Trading seats with Lila, who was talking with Mason. She sits down right next to you. Well, no fuck ups.
I'm going to whisper
Mhm.
to Lila. So, do you think that Petra is going to try to decapitate me, burn me alive, or make it look like an accident?
So you just entered into the game we all like to play, which is our version of Fuck, Marry, Kill, and you just did all of them.
Good. I guess I don't know if she likes flowers.
Which one, Petra or Ava Lash?
Oh my god.
I think on that little moment of putting Ellie up in the tree of KISSINGing, we're going to move back to the rest of the group.
May I use that moment to
Mhm.
interject with Cora's text message to Ellie?
Sure.
Groovy. So Cora will say, hey, since we've done a few things together, movie night and training, the new kids and I are meeting up. I know you and Chris don't super get along, but we're taking photos. I know lighting is difficult for you too, and this is like a string. But I have an idea if you want to meet up after.
Ellie looks back at the hulking figure that is Cyrus. Thank you for the offer. The boss is keeping a tight leash on the employees. So I think I'm gonna have to stick with the squad for a little bit. Stick with my squad for a little bit.
Okay, no worries. Cora will quickly take like a walking photo of her own shadow on the ground and go, I was thinking something like this.
Do I know if that would actually work?
In terms of the picture's just a silhouette, right? Just the shadow.
Yeah, just against opera
Mhm.
stuff background.
Mhm. The only thing you'd have to be careful with is your actual shape. Like if you are sort of obfuscating that with wearing your hoodie, none of the oddities of your features are going to show in the shadow. Because otherwise it's just a clothed figure, which means nothing. But between the two of you, you would know who was in the photo. And maybe that's all that really matters. Otherwise, you'd be risking taking a direct photo of you, which is just, that's a fun idea.
Um, I might react to the I'll react to that photo that Cora sends with a with like the thinking emoji.
Cora will turn then to her walking partners and say, so Kate, how was your intermission?
Went really well.
Yeah, good. Anything super interesting?
Just got to discuss the opera. I'm trying to remember. You don't know where I was over intermission, do you?
No, I don't think so. I think Belle kind of generally glanced in your direction, but I wouldn't know for sure.
Gotcha. I didn't think so, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
It's been 100 years in a week, you know? So, but yeah, for now, I'll just keep it at, it was good and got to discuss the opera.
Okay. Cora will say, while you were indisposed, Belle and I went to see our city councilwoman since we live in the same district.
How was that?
It was a good chat. gave me some perspective. I, probably she's a little busy tonight, but I think I have a feeling you and her might get along.
Really?
Yeah, just something about it.
I'd say this is when Artem, Chris, and Poppy would be joining the little drum circle.
Perfect.
Do we see them
Hi.
coming down from upstairs?
Yes.
Ooh.
Where have you three been sitting tonight?
In the box.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Though Chris did get to chat with Clarice a little bit during intermission and did a very good job.
You do notice this little faint eye twitch, which is a real trick for technically an undead person.
Mm.
You all look amazing, by the way. And Cora's gonna come up and hug everybody.
I
You do
imagine
too.
I imagine though for Artem, it's like trying to hug like a fridge.
Yes.
Artem will look
Cora's.
down on the suit. It's too small.
So Artem,
Man.
was that just something you had lying around?
Yes.
Wow.
Kate, I'm not gonna have you roll because you know that's a lie.
You must have worked out since you had it last tailored.
It's funny. I got measurements kind of recently, but I swear I lost weight.
Chris, you're not even gonna call him out on this bullshit?
I don't have to because everyone knows it's bullshit. I don't have to do it on my own.
You're so right. It is bullshit. But you look great regardless. A tight-ish suit is better than no suit at the opera.
If you say so.
I do.
And
I do say so.
Chris is gonna look up at Artem and go, turnabout's only fair play. Give them a little spin.
Twirl.
No,
Twirl.
I don't want to.
Don't make me make you twirl.
You could do that.
And
Not
Chris,
here.
Chris is just trying to sort of do some mental math. Like I want to know how that works, but
Artem's like, go on.
I think we're under big house rules tonight.
Some other time.
Soon. I'll make sure you're there, Chris.
And maybe take a video. Or don't.
Artem thinks back to someone who very recently told him, don't look at them in the eyes.
Oh my.
Adam suddenly is really into sunglasses?
Also, what a traumatic callback for Artem.
Truly.
um,
So what did you all think of the opera?
it's at this point that maybe for most of you, you probably haven't heard Belle say much, but she does start to give not a dissertation and not very loud, but she does start to give like a start to finish commentary of what she thought, some of the characters, some of the themes, and some of them are not our collective text or subtext. She's pulling at different elements that she saw or is overlaying. They align with what was presented, but it's a different interpretation, and in some areas, wildly. But
Fascinating.
not nonsensical. It has an internal logic to it.
Belle, are you a writer?
And it's at this point she realizes that she's been speaking at length. No, I just I have a thing for patterns.
That's amazing. I feel like you'd be an incredible writer or, a theater critic.
I do try to get out often.
That's amazing. Have Poppy and Belle ever met each other?
She was at movie night.
Yeah.
She was at movie night. Okay, then never mind.
Not a very in-depth interaction. It was more just whoever shows up is welcome and can sit down and just join in the mayhem, but not, this was not a conversation pit.
Got it. Got
This was not a salon party kind of thing. But I would say you would have learned her name and some basics, but nothing too in-depth. You Well, I'll leave this to Poppy, if she would recognize that Belle was a grid girl.
Oh yeah, she definitely would.
Okay.
Knowing Poppy, yeah.
I think during Belle's long analysis,
Mhm.
Kate kind of gives her a little side eye and like smiles because like this is the most Belle has ever spoken in a row that she's heard.
Mm-hmm. And I will say for Kate, because you spent more time with her than anyone else here, you do find some odd word choices, as if some of that word salad is starting to creep in, but in a way that's at first quirky, but if she was talking for much longer, it would devolve very quickly.
I'll kind of quietly say, Belle, let me know if you need to move to your phone.
Mm-hmm. She just gives you a thankful smile. And then Chris will pop up. So photo op, and she's doing that. We doing this?
Yes, that's what we're here for.
I did not work all night on this to let it go to waste. And she's pointing at the very carefully organized chaos that is her hair.
I understand that curly girl life. I say, as me, not as Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Poppy will go ahead and start posing and grabbing people to like into a
Arrange.
place that has good lighting and be like, okay, you go on the end, you go here.
Cora, who's going to take the photo? Is it going to be a selfie?
Well, as we have someone composing the photo here, what do you think, Poppy?
Oh, I'll find somebody. And she'll just kind of hop out. And the first like
I
kind of
kind of want
friendly
Poppy to accidentally grab the mayor.
that would be really funny. Just the first
Accidentally
friendly
grab the princess
person that
friend.
she sees. Somebody that looks like youthful enough to be able to take a good selfie. Not to be ageist, but it's a thing. You know?
I could reach for my SLR just over there, but no, that's fine.
No boomer
Well, you know what I
profile
mean?
pics.
Like a 70-year-old is not going to know as well as a
Just
20-year-old.
holding up the iPad and like.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have you just roll a single D10.
Okay. 3.
3. Okay.
Fix it in post.
This is where it gets funny. How aware are you of who you're grabbing onto? Is it just like you are composing this and you're just sort of reaching, hey, can you take this photo? And it's almost like it's like a blind grab at this point because you're rolled low.
Rugs.
I think she's gonna try to grab somebody that doesn't look terribly grumpy. And that's the baseline. She doesn't want to pick somebody that's curmudgeonly. She would rather pick somebody that looks like they're in a good mood and willing to take a picture for some strangers.
Okay. Because you rolled low, I would like
Yep.
to believe that it was the intent.
Yes, it was.
You sort of reach over thinking you see like the nice, well-cut suit, someone who has a bit of style, a bit of flash, and probably knows how to be in a venue like this. They're not particularly tall, not short either, but just maybe about 5'8", 5'9". And as you grab, they almost seem to lean into you, and you hear in your ear, "Hola."
Hi. Is the sheriff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fucking hell, dude. Hi. Sorry. You don't have time potentially to take a quick picture for us, do you? It's okay if you don't. I'm so sorry. You were probably working.
She looks at all of you. Well, I should update my files.
Sure.
Arrange.
Okay.
I was gonna ask if Cora's still breathing right now, but then I remembered Cora doesn't have to breathe, so it's probably for the best.
Cora is still so red currently.
We'll fix it in
Cora
post.
is able to breathe. Now the question is not whether or not she can blush as much as is she keeping herself from doing so.
Oh, no. She cannot keep herself from doing so in this
Mhm.
current moment.
She's holding the phone in a very relaxed and easy manner, as if she's done this 1,000 times. And I'm assuming she's holding your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It has a green case. It says Brat on it. It's
Okay.
Brat Summer. Still.
Mm-hmm. And she counts down, but it's not in English. It's not quite French. It's not quite Spanish. But it's the usual cadence of what you expect to hear. That beat in the head of 3, 2, 1, click. And she takes a few. And she looks over at Cora. You are far too red. And she goes back behind the screen to allow you to have a moment to master yourself.
Cora called out,
Mm-hmm.
probably gets a little bit more red first,
Mm-hmm.
and then centers herself, focuses,
Mm-hmm.
and tries to allow her systems to drain a little bit back
Mm-hmm.
to their more. I can't think of a good word for it, but we're all walking
Pallid.
corpses.
I
So,
was,
yes,
I
back
was
to
gonna say
that
her
state.
natural alabaster would be, I
Mhm.
think, how it is for her, because she's quite fair featured, it seems, from what I
She
recall
is
the photo.
indeed.
That platinum doesn't really seem to stand out as unnatural for her. Like it almost seems like it would be unnatural for her to be any other hair color.
Which is kind of why I have her dressed in like this sort of bronze with like the dark gold danglies right now, because
Mhm.
like that contrast is really pretty.
In a way that would also help blanch her out just a little bit without going too far. She's
Mm,
not wearing something so vibrant that the contrast is jarring.
exactly.
But eventually you're able to settle. And Belle does kind of give you a sympathetic glance until it abates and the sheriff is able to take a few photos. And she does pause for a moment. She takes out her phone and she holds the pair of them together for a moment. If Ellie was in the room, you would know that she's sending herself the photo by simply tapping them together.
Hmm. Great.
And perhaps anything else that was on there that she was amused by, but she didn't have much time to go perusing.
Oh,
And even if she did, would there be anything to find?
My nudes. Sorry. Pictures of noodles. Get your
Mm-hmm.
heads out of the gutter.
Uh-huh. I
Noodles
feel
the
like
cat.
that's an even bigger
Yes.
conversation and a bigger breach.
a zoomed in blurry photo of Artem's ass.
Bigfoot cheeked up.
with just his wristwatch.
Oh no.
And as the little photo op ends, she's holding your phone out for you to come and take. But she holds on to it as you try to pull it. I think you and I need to go and have a little conversation.
Sure. I am Clarice's driver this evening, so I can't talk too long.
And she brushes a hair that was just slightly out of place on your cheek. I won't keep you long.
Okay. I'll see y'all later.
Cora's gonna do one of these. Like, boy.
It was nice knowing y'all. It was really
Cora's also gonna mouth sorry because this was her idea.
Mhm.
Man, I can't wait to meet Helena's next character.
Girl.
Well, it'd be nice to finally get a Tremere in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll come back to that little excursion in a moment. What are the rest of you getting up to? Any of you reacting to the sheriff having just been the one taking your photo and then walked off with one of your friends?
We save her or
I think she's on her own at this point.
I mean, do you save someone who was just grabbed by the TSA or the FBI? Like,
Chris is
Maybe.
gonna look at you, Cora. What the fuck was that about?
okay, look, she's very pretty.
Yeah, she is.
Ladies and gentlemen, little miss, hear me out.
Cora also thinks to herself, do I have a thing for deputies? But doesn't say that out loud. Or law people, more specifically.
Vampiric Leos.
um, but I mean, I composed myself. But yeah,
Chris
my
does the
heart's-
opposite of side eye as she just looks away at that. I composed myself.
eventually. Look, my heart got a little out of control.
That happen often with you.
It's usually just when I'm driving.
Belle was giving a much more bright smile than a sympathetic one that she had for you when you were blushing, but it does dim a little bit at the mention of driving.
Cora, I guess, will catch that and go, it was a big part of my life. Still is. Not all of it was super pleasant, but when I'm out there on the track on my own, you know, it's just me in the car pushing my limits, pushing its limits, seeing how far I can take it, finding that edge of life and death, which doesn't mean as much now. There was something to it, something freeing. Made time sort of stop. So, anyway, Cora will sort of adjust herself.
Is there anything you would like to share with the rest of them, this group? Anyone? Artem's been a bit of a deer in headlights for the last little bit. Is there anything that's been crossing his mind? Not that he's alone with this part of the group?
Hope that picture doesn't get back to Alden. He thinks.
Mhm. Why ever not? This is actually above the table question. Are you worried about the photo?
Maybe.
Hmm. Well, that uncertainty's fun. While you're worrying about that, and Cora is perhaps going in circles in her mind about her driving proclivities. And before I transition back over to Poppy, is there anything you want to add, Kate? Okay. Poppy, you're on a meandering walk with the vampiric sheriff of Chatham County.
Mm-hmm.
Before the conversation begins in earnest, is there anything that you want to convey about Poppy's demeanor?
She is doing her very best to maintain composed and polite. Um, Inside, she is going, fuck, 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 fuck. What did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? Um, yeah. But she's trying to kind of maintain composure because she's like, it's that part of her brain that's going, innocent until proven guilty, girl. You're fine. You're fine. And
But
then the
the
other
other
side of
half
the
of her
brain.
brain is screaming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like she's trying to hold it together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
And eventually, Vega, walking alongside you, one wrist clasped behind her back. I have been remiss in making a proper introduction with you.
I have not done that either. It's good to officially meet you, Sheriff Vega.
Would you say Sheriff Vega out loud?
Oh shit, 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 shit. No. She went Ms. Vega.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, are you keeping out of trouble?
I like to think so.
Hmm? I know who your benefactor is.
Ah, yes. Nico?
Hmm. I know that he is not as squeaky clean as he'd like to put on.
I feel like most people aren't.
And so I have to ask, why would this high-standing reprobate vouch for you?
And Poppy kind of lowers her voice even more. And she goes, well, he knows that I, escaped a rather toxic relationship in coming here. He's the only one that really saw it. And so I think, honestly, I'm a bit of a pity case. But I like to think that we're friends.
Hmm. Oh, well then. She is not quite doing what Ava Lash was doing to Ellie earlier, whereas that sort of shark circling. It's more staying very solidly, taking up all of your periphery,
Mm.
so that even when you turn your head, she's still somehow looming. Despite the fact that she is not a particularly tall or muscular, she's not really standing over you as much as she's just conspiratorially close and in a reasonably meandering gait so that there's no chance of losing you in the crowd.
Right.
So other than him, why are you here? Why this place?
Well, for the art, for things like this. And she kind of looks wistfully at the stage. It's been so long, years, since I've been in a place that's full of so much inspiration. And the people here, I mean, so far it's been, I know it's difficult, of course, to, acclimate to a new spot, but I found great kindness and inspiration even in the people. In fact, I'm meeting up with Titus and DJ Rally shortly. We're working together on a little bit of a project.
At this, she does lead you more into a bit of a nook so she can cross her arms and lean her shoulder against the wall. And this is all that you're up to?
For now, I'm trying to work on my art. I'm working at Nico's shop. I've made some friends as you saw and as you photographed. Yeah, I'm still just kind of establishing myself here, but I'm very excited to see what happens.
Hmm. Well, I look forward to whatever project you turn up.
I think it will be really fun.
Let us hope so. I hope all of our chats are so informal.
Hmm. It was great to meet you.
Bye, Button. And she taps you on the nose before she walks away.
Oh. Poppy rolls her shoulders back again because she had curled down, kind of looking down
Just
at
a
her a little bit. She's a
standing
little bit
shrimp.
taller. She's just like, a very sparkly shrimp. And she kind of and like puts the piece of hair that was like that the sheriff was like moving back where it's supposed to go so that it's not in her face anymore. And then she makes directions towards DJ Raleigh and Titus if she sees them.
Okay. I'm gonna look back over to the group real quick. Is there any topics of conversation that this group would be having? Is there any breaking off into smaller groups? Any little smaller conversations you want to have either with each other or with any of the other characters present? There is the wide variety of the court here. Corey, you look like you want to add something.
Well, just before we split, I suppose Cora's always making plans with her friends. So she'll say, "This was really nice. If Poppy survives, I'm glad we'll have something to remember the moment. We should all get together again, go dancing or something. I don't know any place in town that could take advantage of what we're wearing, but just, later on during the week or something."
Be nice. We can work it in. Though there is a flaw to what you said. The sheriff has Poppy's phone.
Would you be saying
Nope,
that?
I would not say sheriff. Vega has Poppy's phone.
I will say that she would have been giving it back. It was just to get her attention.
Yeah, but she took Poppy with her, so.
There is that. Fair enough.
And I'll say it in like a joking manner.
I assume you wouldn't have said sheriff, you would have just said Vega. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's yet to be determined if we have our evidence.
It's true.
One of you can ask Vega for the photo.
Or we could always make more memories.
Chris chimes in, almost this shell-shocked, haunted voice, but it's very put on. Just, I miss Poppy. Sometimes I can still hear her voice.
Don't say that.
She's gonna be fine. We didn't fucking do anything.
At that moment, Poppy sends the "I lived, bitch" meme into the group chat.
Oh, fantastic. As we're mingling here on the mezzanine, though, I would
Mhm.
like to keep an eye out. I'm not going to try to talk to them, but just keep an eye for the court box passing and see if, like, she's not going to care where I am. We had our conversation, but Redgrave, as they're leaving, just to, like,
They
see.
haven't left the building, but they are mingling. You don't see Brooks, though.
Mhm.
And when you do see Halsey, he's not just walking around glad handing. There's a little bit of that, but it's more in people who seem to have more an official capacity of being there, people who seem to be in charge of the venue. He seems to be talking to a few members of security. It's a little bit more. He was on break when you talked to him earlier. He's on the job right now. In the same way that you do see Rook milling around, but like when you first met him, there is no joviality behind the eyes. He is very clearly working. He is looking through every angle. And the only times that he stops is if he is adjusting his sense of Overwatch, refocusing where his sector is.
Is Redgrave also in work mode?
Yes, but in a more social sense. Given that she works in the hospitality industry, her sense of work is a little bit different. She is at some point shaking hands with the mayor. And people in his orbit that you can reasonably surmise would be public officials of some sort. Ellie's not down there in any way, but I believe, given that Ellie's predilections for who they go after, you'd probably know who the mayor is. You've also been in town a little bit longer than most. And you've at least probably picked up a few of who the power players are. Not necessarily in a way that you can do much of anything with that information, but knowing who the mayor is not a big ask.
I'm also sure that that's one of the, like, in terms of ways to make money, that's one of the, like, big fish in Ellie's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Of, like, if there was a way they could find something, that's definitely someone they want to towards the top of the food chain.
Mm-hmm. And just for added fun, there's a person in sort of an usher uniform outside the doors of the venue that no one can see right now, longingly looking in on a life that they no longer have access to. But is there any directions that the three of you want to start ambling towards? I'm going to start with Cora. Is there anyone that you want to go talk to?
Cora is going to, give hugs to whoever wants them, and say, like, um, as I said a little bit earlier, perspective. I have some things to take care of. It was lovely seeing you all. And then is gonna head off to see if she can't find Olivia or Costello. And she is going to take a really circuitous route, and just pay attention to the goings on, what sorts of groups of people are hanging out,
Hmm.
facial expressions, those sorts of little things. If anyone is whispering in anyone's ear, right? Um, all of that is anyone overly excited? Is everyone interestingly stern? Um, so, yeah, we don't need to necessarily get into all the details of what it is that she sees. The important thing is, though, is that we said that Cora was starting to learn the roots in the city as a courier.
Hmm.
She's trying to pay attention to the human layout, for lack of a better term, of the urban terrain as well.
Um, I'd say some semblance of these kinds of functions she's used to. This is it's not quite the same thing that she'd be going to, where this is more high society kind of function. A lot of the city is here, but in the way that she would be used to this from a business perspective, where the high and mighty of industry are in a gathered uh, venue, either for like an expo, a big sale, a reveal. Um, it's remarkably similar. So she knows where to step, when to avoid. So it's more a matter of time before she finds Costello or Olivia. But since you had said that you wanted to find Costello earlier, let's focus on him.
Okay, perfect.
He is on the next level, sort of that balcony overwatching the festivities below, and a little bit of a peaceful, serene smile on his face as he's just enjoying the people watching at the moment.
Is he there at the edge of the balcony itself?
Yeah, he's like leaning on it with his elbows, sort of just watching.
Okay. Uh, since he's leaning on it with his elbows, Cora will
Hmm.
come up and like face the opposite direction and like
Hmm.
do the opposite lean.
Hmm.
Um, and kind of, turn her head and look over at him and say, "Huh, glad you're still around."
He'll prop himself up and stand. He's still leaning, less with his elbows, but now with his hands. Well, you said you wanted to meet.
Yeah, Savini, look, uh, Cora will still use coded terms, but she's also
Hmm.
going to switch to Italian since she
Hmm.
knows he speaks it and say, so, you know that run in that Artem and Chris and I had with the alligator recently?
I'm assuming you're stressing that particular noun.
Mm-hmm. The one I chased away with the road flare?
Mm. And he'll sort of beckon you away from the balcony edge so that your voices have even less chance of carrying, and finding a little bit of a non-functioning but stylistic architectural nook in the wall.
Mm.
Of course, switching back to Italian with you. Uh, what about it?
So, I'm trying to sort some things out, and I figured if anyone would maybe know about other alligator attacks that had maybe fatalities, that
Mm.
you might have a list. Maybe it would take an outsider's perspective to put together some sort of link, some sort of connection, some common thread.
We don't really adhere to HIPAA in the same way, but that would be giving out a lot of information, a lot of access.
Sure. I don't do anything open-ended, but what would you want for it?
I'll save you a bit of time. Yes, there are casualties spanning back quite a while. Alligator attacks are a unfortunate reality of living in this part of the world. You wouldn't say that there's strictly rhyme or reason to an alligator attack as much as that's nature. And the way he stresses alligator in this sense, you get the impression he's saying a real alligator. The impression that this is more akin to an animal rather than a serial killer with an MO.
Well, in that case, another question for you. If you talk to any survivors that had anything interesting that they remembered?
He does have a little bit of a sad smile for a moment before he adds, most of my interviews are postmortems. And again, the way he stresses that is there was a conversation, but no survivor.
Well, and that's exactly what Cora was getting at in the first place.
Yeah, but he's just making sure that that's what you're talking about.
Because, yeah, that's my thinking. So, what about it? You can give me at least one. I did save you from Yvette the other day.
Oh, that's how we were playing that.
Well,
I thought that was out of the kindness of your heart.
It was at the time, but now there's an opportunity.
I'll have to go back through my notes for that. That's not something I keep in mind off the top of my head. Decades are hard to catalog that way.
Of course.
But I imagine there wasn't a lot of conversation. Most of it, if not all of it, is just going to be some variation on a theme of I was there at the shore minding my own business when chomp. That's assuming they even saw anything at all.
Right. Well, you never know. We're working with nothing, and so anything is something.
Careful. Anomalies are not necessarily clues.
That is true.
If these things were so easy to figure out, we would have already. It's not that I want to discourage you, but I need you to remember decades upon decades of red herrings, misleads, misunderstandings.
Well, then, if you have some more time, I'd love to get another chance to work with the experts. See how it's done.
I think that might be more instructive.
Cora, realizing that Nina had very clearly told her that there's problems here, um, still asking to go do stuff.
Hmm. Well, on one level or another, Cora's still circling that track.
Mm-hmm.
And the law of averages always trends towards disaster when a system is allowed to perpetuate long enough. Is it okay if I fade out from that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Artem,
Yes.
where are you going?
Um, Probably look at Chris and say, "You ready to go?"
Did you want to try and find Dalton?
Yeah. Okay, we can do that now. Let's
Well, for a
see.
living, we might as well try.
Yeah, that's a good point. Where? I guess the first thing he'd do is look to the stage.
So you're past the stage right now. You
Sure.
are sort of in the more open area where everyone can gather. This is more like a external to where the audience would sit, and this is more a kind of like a gala setting now.
Mhm.
There are a few drinks being passed around. So, where do performers go after? And there's a gala, uh, as it were, happening. Eventually, they do filter out into almost an after party, which is where you all are. And usually that follows people getting changed. If you've ever seen a conductor truly work, they are a sweat-housed mess after
Mhm.
a show. But your kind doesn't sweat. His costume change is brief. And while he was wearing the traditional, non-distracting suit while conducting, because you don't want uh, some glittery jacket to distract someone that you are conducting, he is now wearing a burgundy jacket, a nice dinner jacket with black lapels, a black shirt, and matching black vest with a bright red tie, splitting his chest and being interrupted as it is enveloped by the vest. As if now he can adorn himself with color. He expressed himself on stage in one way or another. But here, now that he's no longer conducting, more subdued, more controlled, more localized expression. But everything is very sharp, very precise about his demeanor. He is glad handing with a few people. He's introducing um, some people to some of the musicians. You actually, you wouldn't recognize this person, but Poppy would, of Tylene Verhoeven is being introduced to one of the main chairs from the orchestra, but in a way that's familiar. Perhaps a student at SCAD seems to be part of the conveyor belt of the art schools being feeding into the art institutions in the city. So, and while there is a general uh, bubble of activity around him, it seems to be constantly moving, of people filtering in and out as they're giving their congratulations, their bravos. He's making his way through, so you can get in line to an extent.
Yeah, he'll tactically position himself in a place where he will naturally, go as he is as he's shaking hands.
Hmm. Chris will not be in that oncoming hurricane, and instead, she will uh, filter off to the side and take out her phone as if she's just ready to record an accident. But
Artem will give her one of these
mhm. I imagine that's the
subtly.
first photo, like part of the reel sort of thing. She's like, "Yep,
Mm-hmm.
no, I got the focus. Go ahead." And as you try to get into that swirling orbit, you have to be a little bit patient.
Mm-hmm.
But not so fringe benefit of being just a giant man slab is that attention gravitates to you quickly.
And a pretty one at that.
Mm. Now, the question is, this is not the sort of etiquette that you are used to.
No.
You've never been to a function like this. So you don't know the protocol. But are you the kind that's going to just sort of jump in, or are you watching to see how other people do it?
So he's definitely watching to see how other people do it.
Mhm.
And he doesn't actually laugh, but he does think it's kind of funny that this is what the what the male lead of the opera was doing too.
Mm.
Um, Once he feels like he's seen enough examples, then he'll sort of proceed with the monkey see, monkey do.
Mhm. Nothing quite like a little bit of diplomatic osmosis.
Mm-hmm.
So you find a way to insert yourself into the pattern. Easy to do without having to push anyone aside, and you're a rather large individual, but you're not a rude one. Even if you are unaware of finer points of manners of decorum, you're never a rude person from what we have collectively observed.
May not
Patient.
know which fork to use, but he does know not to push people out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Even going so far as to making sure the person who was next is, in fact, next, that you're not
Mm-hmm.
displacing them. And as you are patiently waiting your turn and ensuring someone else gets theirs, your turn comes up quick because you're hard to miss. And he does shake your hand in that very sharp, precise way, not in a way that's trying to break your hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very um, practiced, controlled.
I like to think Artem recognizes that, even though he doesn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
He'll return the handshake, of course, and say, "Mr. Reeve, I was blown away."
Very kind of you to say.
He'll sort of lean in. Believe it or not, this is my first opera. I was wondering if there
Before you
was.
can finish that, he goes, "Well, I am quite pleased to be your first."
I'm told you've ruined me for others.
At that, you do get a little bit of a crack in his otherwise pristine armor, and there is a laugh. It is as if all the severity was the nerves and stress of approaching this, and he's now able to sort of shed a little bit of that. He's earned his flowers,
Mm-hmm.
or in this case, I guess yours.
Oof. I was wondering if there was a way I could bring it home with me, recording a CD, something like that.
Hmm. He pauses and looks at you for just a moment. You're Burroughs' man, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Ah, I've planned for that eventuality, as I know that he would be unfortunately prevented from attending this evening.
Busy guy.
Hmm. He will look into his pocket and produce a matching red and black USB key. Please give him my kindest regards.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Hmm. I hope to see you again.
Sure you will.
And I'm assuming it's another little quick handshake.
And oh,
Mm.
no train wreck, Chris.
Yeah, she kind of does put the phone on it, like, fuck. She sends a quick text to Poppy. Tried to make another train wreck, did not happen. We'll update later. Sasquatch still intact. Kate,
Yes.
where are you going? Who are you talking to?
Also, sorry, my cat snuck in.
Oh no,
Everyone
the
will just
cat
listen.
tax.
Um, I'll look at Belle and see
Mhm.
if she has anyone she needs to talk to before we leave.
She seems a little more subdued, but not in a disinterested fashion. She's enjoying a little bit of the people watching. She does wave to one or two people that she knows as she. I'm assuming you're not just staying still. You're starting to walk through the venue. Um, but it's a lot of very quick hi and bye sort of things. Um, she does. Have you met Sebastian Stanford? I'm trying to remember.
I have not. I think only Poppy has.
Okay. They run into each other, and she does make polite introductions. And she would. Um, she is starting to struggle a little bit with words at this point, and
Remind
that's when he
me,
takes
Stanford's
over.
the blonde one.
Blonde, slightly spiky hair, very punchable, handsome face.
Just making sure I had the right NPC in mind.
Mhm. That's when he chimes in because he seems to recognize her signs uh, rather quickly. He goes, looking to you, we go to the same country club.
Mm-hmm. She went on a bit of a long description of her thoughts and opinions of the opera.
Much
Sorry
to
not
her.
to speak for you, Belle.
Mhm. She does actually offer a little bit of a nod as a thank you because you have been noticing fewer and fewer words coming out of her. And she goes, really? And he seems to smile at that. It's like, oh, I'm glad you were able to be so conversational. And he does look to her, not to speak on your behalf, but it's not something she does very often.
Figured.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, pleasure to make your acquaintance. I hope we're able to do so in a more open venue next time.
Pleasure to make yours. Okay, no, because I haven't met him. I don't know what he does.
Mhm.
So I
No.
can't allude to.
No, you've just sort of seen him in orbits of people.
Yeah. When I was trying to think, I don't think I've even been with Redgrave long enough for her to maybe have mentioned him. For like the name to go, ah.
Not quite.
Yeah, I
You
didn't think
would
so.
have seen maybe his face. You may have seen him standing with Belle before.
I think I've seen them in the same orbit at court.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was just trying to see if there were any pieces, but
Mm-hmm.
not yet.
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
But as you.
Perhaps, like Mickey Mouse, that's a clue for later.
Mm-hmm. an ingredient of murder. We'll use it. Anyways, as these two shifts pass in the night, she's had a few of her um, conversations, but
You can stay
mm,
as long as you'd like, Bill. I don't want to drag you away.
Mm.
But when you hit a point that just maybe no longer the venue you'd like to be in, just let me know.
mhm. So while she is getting a bit overpeopled before we see her out, is there anyone that specifically you, as the player, want to go interact with?
Not interact. I would like to try to make eye contact with Redgrave.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not going to get the gold star nod of approval, but we did have a conversation and that was, mwah.
Mm-hmm.
But just one final, like, maybe recognition.
Mm-hmm. So you're just trying to find her eyes in the crowd while
Mhm.
she's mingling and very clearly working.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to have a conversation, just
No,
acknowledge.
she's very much working. I
Mm-hmm.
have not done anything worthy of being like, my new employee yet, but
Mm-hmm.
just recognition.
She's mid conversation with someone as you're trying to find her eyes, and she does see you over the shoulder. She gives you that little like up nod of acknowledgement without breaking the rhythm of whoever she's talking with. Clearly, at bare minimum, she has acknowledged you as someone within her orbit, but not a let me introduce you sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
In
Kate's
a way
thinking
that is
next
like,
time.
yeah, like the bare minimum of, how do I put this? Accepted, but above embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
You have, so it's
Met the
not gold
minimum.
star.
Yeah.
Like if you were, say like Gangrel gold star for Venture, this is just expectation.
Yeah.
You got to go above and beyond for more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a little part of Kate is like, yeah, next time I'm here, this is going to be different.
Mm-hmm. Got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And for Venture, the start is just don't fuck it up.
Mm-hmm. But Kate has been enjoying the evening with present company.
Mm-hmm. And we can get to the drive a little bit later if you'd like. But I'm assuming you are starting to vacate now.
Mm-hmm. Especially because she is. My cat's biting me now.
I feel like that's just indicative of things to come. Anywho,
Took me a second, but I got there.
mm-hmm.
Don't take that comment. Nope. Nope. Shh, shh, shh.
Ah, delightful. But as you are beginning to make your farewells to the few people that you are uh, running into, I'm assuming you're saying in the group chat, hey, heading home.
Yeah, I'll let everyone know that I'm giving Bella a ride back.
Okay. So we'll cut to the drive afterwards. We're going to start beginning our denouement of this particular opera evening. Cora, who are you seeing on the way out? Is there anyone? Are you just heading towards the car?
Mm, paying attention to her, the presence of any other clanmates,
Mm-hmm.
and if she does get to see Olivia tonight, that's great. If not, it's not urgent. Also, even though Poppy had a little bit of proof of life, it would still be nice to just like actually visually see Poppy to know that we're good and that it wasn't just Vega. Um, and
Okay, so let's deal with that then. Poppy,
um,
where are you?
yeah.
I'm probably near Titus and DJ Raleigh.
Okay. I would say, Cora, as you're walking through the crowd, getting a little bit of a vantage point or just trying to get a sense of where people are, you're seeing the updated text of Kate leaving.
Drive safe.
Mhm. And you can see Poppy talking with a couple people that one you recognize, the other maybe less so. but one you recognize from court specifically.
Poppy has been uh, open about working on this project for Titus. So I totally key into that's what's going on there. And I feel good that Poppy is no longer detained. And yeah, I think Cora is going to smile that her friend is okay. And leave her to her night. There's no shot at all that I would have had even any inkling of where the Nosferatu are hanging out. And it would be very bold of me to try to still do that, but we'll save. We'll find a way to get a a photo with Ellie eventually. It's the thought that counts. Um,
Mm.
and I guess that's it for Cora. Uh, you know, she did her people watching. She made a little progress. She met all her friends. So I think she's done what she wants to do with the night. Uh, she kind of, as she leaves, kind of swishes her head and like feels the little tinkle of the earrings, and kind of wishes to herself there was a little bit more to do with the night.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, she's good. She'll head out to the valet to pick up her car.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Artem and Chris.
Yeah, so USB in hand, Artem will nod to Chris and they will find the way back to the car.
Okay. Do you let her know that you have the USB? Did you hand it to her? Did you show it to her?
Um, he'll probably show it to her, yeah.
Okay. Because oh, okay. I think I can find a way to get that to play for him. Plug it into a laptop or something. I don't know.
Should get a laptop. I don't know where I'd plug it in. Yeah, figure it out.
She just looks at you. You're lucky you're pretty. And
I'm very pretty.
let's not go too far. Is there anything you want to discuss with her on the ride?
Um, yeah. So as they're driving, he'll yeah, probably just talking bullshit most of the time. But
Mhm.
at one point, he'll say, "So how did it go with Clarice?"
Mm,
Yeah,
it was okay. I didn't really know what to say to her.
yeah, I get that.
But uh, do you know anything about her?
No.
Okay. It's still kind of before my time, sort of. She used to be the Primogen.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Poppy's whole deal.
Yeah.
And she used to be with, I guess, the sheriff. Not the one we have now. He died. So, and you kind of know a little bit of Alden's deal.
Yeah.
I guess they got along on shared pain or something.
Yeah. Poppy is really in a similar situation to us, huh?
Maybe a little bit. I imagine her house is nicer, though.
I'm working on it.
It looks better. You're helping me rip down the fucking paper off the walls when we get home. I'm tired of staring at my room that way.
Sure.
Can we fade out from there?
Yeah.
Okay. Kate. Now, she may be a bit overpeopled, but that's easy to do when you are surrounded by people. So she's a little more able to discuss in the car when it's just the two of you. Is there anything you'd like to go over?
Give me 2 seconds to look at what I sent you. You start with, thank you for inviting me. It's been a lot of fun tonight.
She does smile. It was nice to share seats with someone who appreciates it as much as I do.
If you ever have plans to come again, let me know.
Maybe to something different.
I'd like to get to see more of Savannah. It's hard to believe I've only been here for about 10 days.
Let me know what you want to see.
Will do. What other kind of things do you recommend? Do you typically stick to the arts? Concerts, operas?
I recommend, and you can see she's taking longer between each word in order to find that word or replace it in her mind with something that sounds closer to what she intends. So that idea of sometimes she has to substitute because the word that she wants to use is jumbled with something else. I recommend finding something that you're interested in rather than me dictating.
I'll have to see what I can find and I'll let you know. Now, are you ready to go back to Wormslow or is there something else you want to do tonight? And I ask instead of offering my own opinion because I go to about 3 places. And those are mostly work and hunting.
She gives you a little pause. And then there's eventually a smile. Wormslow, but I just want to go dangle my feet off the edge of the dock.
Not anything in there that'll bite back, is there? Or is that just me hanging out with the gangle for too long?
No, don't go swimming.
Good advice.
Can I end it there?
Yeah.
Okay. Ellie, you are sensing a bit of a shift in the room as people are all downstairs. The upper, upper floor, the highest level for the boxes, is supposedly empty. Empty enough that who comes to the curtain is not a regular security guard, but the disguise of Baxter, who was let in by Cyrus, with much less fanfared aggression. Okay, it's dying down. We can all start to head on out. Route secure.
Ellie puts away their laptop, getting ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And Mason seems to be going through a bit of a gesture of politeness as he's helping Petra with her coat. As if simply, he may have status, but he's still a gentleman. And Lila looks to you, holding out her jacket, sort of coyly, like, trying to be just daintily holding it in your direction, looking away, but just clearing her throat, becoming a bit of an astronomer.
Oh, here, let me help you with that.
Oh, you're so kind.
No problem. And Ellie just kind of puts the coat around, not like just kind of like wherever Lila needs it, and then it's just like, anything else I can do for you to make your evening better?
So
You know what? I don't want to know the
Are you still
answer.
wearing the Ted Mosby?
Oh yeah.
I'd say a piggyback ride, but you're not that tall, and in this dress, it would look really fun. But no, maybe when we get back though.
Great. What are your plans for the rest of the night?
Oh, it still involves this dress.
Right.
Mama still got to go put on a show, and she sort of just like adjusts the girls before she heads on out. While just sort of giving this little like very slow, very almost drag finger scrape along the underside of Baxter's chin. And he looks at Cyrus one of these fucking days. I'm gonna rip her whole arm off. And that's when Cyrus goes, slow Terminator turn in your direction. And he just walks out.
Why in my direction? I don't like that.
And as he's fishing out the keys, is there anything else you'd like to add to that interaction? Any of them that you want to try and talk with?
um, I might actually go to uh turn to Mason, and I might just go, so boss,
As if
how
it's
did
walk and
I
talk.
yeah.
Mhm.
So boss, how would you say I did today?
There's a smile that adds an uncanny valley effect to his false face. How do you think you did?
I think in terms of my job, I did a pretty good job in terms of not messing things up. B plus. in terms of not pissing people off, room for improvement.
And that's when he claps you on the back. Well, at least you're learning something. Did you get what you came for? If you're going to piss people off, at least make it worth it.
Yes, I do think I did.
For your sake, I hope so. He does genuinely seem a little more amused rather than looking down his nose at you. There's a little bit of the sternness behind it, but it's a little more playful. Like a grandfather that had to give you a little bit of a swat, but he's more like, but it was clever. I gotta give him that kind of thing. But it's just, eh. A little bit of if Archie Bunker was likable. We'll put it that way.
Well, appreciate the trust in me tonight. Do you have any fun plans afterwards?
I think not having plans is my plan.
Oh, so no night on the town for us?
Things are closed early on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And it's said in a tone that you're not entirely sure if he's playing the straight man in this joke or if he's making you the unfortunate straight man.
Well, I interpret it as the type of places I go to close early.
Well, assuming you don't cause any further faux pas, you get to the SUV perfectly fine, and you start to head back to the Warrens, which, because you're in the heart of the city, it's not a very long drive. Unless there's anything else you'd like to add? Okay. Last scene is Poppy. You are finding Clarice and tearing her away, or maybe she's avidly looking for her exit at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to dial into the scene more specifically with Titus and Raleigh, or would we like to leave it as we'll meet more properly later?
Yeah, well, just to kind of, hey, did you get the Pinterest board I sent? What are we thinking? Let's schedule something and all of us sit down and talk about possibilities.
I'd say you can leave it at the three of you decided you'll be meeting at the track in the next few nights
Great.
to take a
Cool.
look at the space, take a look at what each of you have to work with, and while you have your plans, that's more for your side of the project. It's a case of, okay, now let's come up with our plan.
Yes.
So I'd say there's a good amount of riffing going on between the three of you, which so far you haven't really experienced too much among your own clan.
No.
The only kind of collaboration you've done has been more of your skill set with the one that made you.
Right.
And this has no such red strings entrapping you.
Yeah. And I think when Cora looks over and sees Poppy with them, she's like gesticulating wildly and clearly getting really excited to talk about the project.
And as a reminder for someone that needs to hear it, no one is more attractive than when they are excitedly talking about something they are very interested in and very excited about. So, eventually you are finding Clarice. She was talking with a few individuals here and there, Brooks being one of them. But she seems like she's ready to go.
Great. As soon as I kind of get that inkling, I like make my presence known a little bit more, just kind of near her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll wait for her if it looks like she's wanting to say goodbye herself, or if she
Mm-hmm.
wants me to like be like, okay, the car's ready.
She looks to be a little bit more diplomatically advanced in the way of she's making use of you. Like she has seen you, and there's a little bit of that subtle, like just hold for just 1 second. She's making a few little quick rounds, but then eventually she does kind of look at you and give you that, even though you've been there the whole time, that acknowledgement of like you've just suddenly appeared. Like, oh, I see. I need to make my leave. And then she gracefully sachets away from small conversations. Eventually, the two of you get into the car and you start heading out. Is there anything you wish to bring up with her, either on the drive or for the house?
Um, I think she will ask, "What did you think of the opera?" Now that we're alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She holds her hand under her chin and she stares out the window, and it's not in a I am ignoring you as much as I am considering how to answer. And you can't help but feel like there could have been something.
There could have been something.
But they both just got in their own way.
That's a really nice way of looking at it.
Mm.
Or terrible way of looking at it. I mean, it's a nice, terrible way of looking at it. And she kind of chuckles as she's driving. I wish it was a little more hopeful, but I know that mm, the artists were just reflecting certain aspects of our lives. And it could have done with a little bit of hope.
Mm.
Though my mom once told me that hope is a muscle. And you have to flex it regularly or else you lose it.
And she does a thing where she's like her head's been canted to one side for the last little while, and then it tilts to the other, regarding you through the rear view. Have you been flexing yours?
Yeah, more than I have in years.
Hmm. Good to hear.
And Poppy will kind of judge if she wants to keep talking or if it looks like her reverie out
Hmm.
the window is calling her.
I would leave this up to you if you want to engage with her further.
I feel like Clarice and I are really good at being in a comfortable silence at this point. We've a
Mhm.
couple of times really enjoyed each other's company. And maybe I'll put on some like piano music, or if I find like a classical station on the radio, no, nothing vocal, just instrumental or orchestral,
Mhm.
symphonic. Um, and she'll maybe have that playing lightly as she drives through the dark savannah.
Okay. Now, as we are ending a little bit early this evening, I think it's appropriate just to let everyone digest the end of the opera. Everyone's had a bit of a full evening. We can do some closing thoughts if anyone would like to add something. It's not incumbent on you to do so, but would anybody like to add a little bit about what they do, what they're feeling as they are settling in for an evening after an evening out? I'm going to start with Poppy since we just left with you.
Once Poppy and Clarice part ways at the house, Poppy will go up, do her usual, not necessary skincare routine. Though of course she has to take her makeup off at the very least. Gets into bed, sends a selfie that she had taken in her gown to Heidi, and just a I can't sleep send selfie, and plays Lump in chess for a little bit if they're up,
Mhm.
and just kind of basks a little bit in the inspiration of the opera, and maybe even takes a moment to like squiggle down some thoughts in her sketchbook, just especially like the bacchanal scene, the court scene, like all of these very visual spatial things that were accomplished with bodies in space and set pieces, because that's always been her favorite medium, is bodies in space and structures. And I think she kind of rides a high of that inspiration and tries to put the Sheriff Vega conversation far from her mind so that it doesn't worry her.
But it
But
does.
it does. Oh, it totally does. And she texts the group, I promise I'm alive. It was great to see you all, if even though it was brief.
Is her texting style the same as it always is?
It is, Graham. It's not. It's not pasted ransom note letters. That would actually be really funny. She's not going to do that though.
Technically,
Helena
you
would do that. I would not. Or
you
Poppy would not.
can type a message doing that on the phone. There's a font feature.
Really.
Hmm. Anywho, um, I would say you do have some back and forth with Heidi, asking you about the show, um, and asking if there's any way the two of you can get all dressed up to go somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I can definitely find something.
But she would
Yeah.
ask, or she would add, just one problem.
Hmm.
I don't have a dress that nice.
Oh, we'll get you one, sweetie.
Hmm. And I assume there's a new Pinterest board that gets started.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I already have one.
Let's go to Cora.
Sure, Cora. I think on the drive home, some of the songs and the music from the opera are in her head.
Mhm.
She is not an opera singer, but she sort of sings little bits and pieces. She takes in the notion of how she feels a bit more like the naive male lead currently, with uh, secretly a whole lot of nothing. And how she's trying to move to be more like the female lead who was ultimately potentially obliterated. Um, and she kind of wonders about that, about her moves tonight. There was a stumble, but she's starting to try to want to be taken a little more seriously too. So, um, did it work? She doesn't know. But if nothing else, she at least has a little piece now, if Poppy sent the photo to the group chat, of this new home that she gets to keep with her. And she'll go ahead and on the cot on her bed, or on the cot off to the side, there's a little framed photo of her and Essen and Gerhardt. And she looks at that, and then she flips it over and pops open the frame and looks at a photo underneath it and puts that back, and then goes to sleep.
I have one follow-up question.
Mm.
Does she send the photo to Essen and or Gerhardt?
Oh my gosh, yes. She does send the opera photo.
Mhm. Mom, Dad, I'm having so much fun at camp. Send money. It's okay if I move over?
Yes.
Artem. This was not your element,
No.
but you did well.
Yeah, he was kind of set up for success in most ways, so it's that helped. And he's definitely thinking about the show. He was entertained. May have been a bit much to take in for his first time, but you know, he's
I
trying to piece
imagine
things together.
I imagine in some ways it's a bit overstimulation.
Yeah, overstimulation and culture shock as well. Um, but he also got a tip tonight, which he's interested in pursuing. So when he gets home, he'll park. He'll see Chris to the house. Um, he'll probably give her the USB because she said she might be able to find a way to play it for him. And then he'll walk out into the woods.
Does he get changed first? Or does he enter the woods in
Oh
his
yeah,
suit?
yeah. He'll get changed first.
Okay.
Now properly clad in a t-shirt and basketball shorts. He'll go out and he'll look for a bird.
Make me a roll of Animal Ken and are you looking or trying to lure?
We'll say trying to lure.
Yeah, so we'll go with manipulation and Animal Ken.
Okay.
We'll see if Artem has his Disney princess moment.
Yeah. I might just drop a willpower on this one, Graham.
Mm.
In fact, I think I will.
So, given the time of night, and a lot of birds you'd be trying to look for would be more during the day, we're going to put this at an 8 because
Okay.
this is a bit of an ask for you.
Sure.
This is something you're trying out of blind hope rather than real skill. But you are trying to apply a few things that you have learned.
Hey, got a 9.
Got a
So
9,
1 success plus 1 with willpower.
so 2 successes. We'll talk over the intervening week exactly what you find out there. But I would imagine it's something small rather than a bird of prey.
Hmm.
I'm assuming it's you walked out there with treats, not just holding out your hand expectantly.
Hmm.
This was a, I have treats, and you're trying to sort of just close your eyes and almost cast your senses out like a net
Hmm.
and gently pulling something back towards you. And I like to think that as the camera is the point of view of the bird that slowly wafts towards your outstretched hand. And we'll end your sequence there, if that's okay. Kate, you sat on the end of the dock with Belle for a while, her shoes off, feet dangling off the side.
I'll do the
Now,
same.
yeah, now would be more the time for very companionable silence.
Hmm. I am going to text Barry,
Hmm. I'm assuming not in front of Belle, but afterwards.
not to feed.
Hmm.
I want to ask when his band's next show is and tell him that I have a friend that I want to take to come see them.
Okay. We'll get back with you with a proper time for that.
Hmm.
But he does respond, I got one coming up. I'll let you know.
Because Belle asked for something I'm interested in, and
Mhm.
Kate does like music. So
Okay.
start arranging that. But yeah, companionable silence. Won't blabber on unless Belle tries to say anything else, but I also know she's really at her limit for the evening.
Hmm. It's definitely to the point now where she's happy for the company. She's not in any way trying to rush things along, but it is now nonverbal.
And I'll keep my phone out
Hmm.
in case and let her know, like, in case you need to message anything.
Hmm. And there is a bit of that starting, but it's not like I want to go home. It's more
Mm.
just little um, small comments and not very uh, rapid because she doesn't want to ruin the ambiance of where you are by just having out your phone and that
Hmm.
blast of light.
Yeah.
So eventually, you do see her to the car. She drives off. What do you do with the rest of your evening?
What time is it?
Let's say the entire opera itself was about 3-ish hours with the intermission, and the mingling afterwards. So maybe that's about a total of 4 hours. So it's well after midnight now. And if you were hanging out with Bal, it's probably closer to maybe about 2.
Okay. I'm okay on blood. I think I
Mm-hmm.
might just call it an early night.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta take care of the outfits because while Kate did have the budget to buy them, she does not have the budget to blow through them. This is a reworn ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
Also now she's gotta wash river water off her feet before climbing into bed. As
I
enjoyable as that moment was.
I will say that she was never dangling in the water.
Oh, that was a misunderstanding for me.
Okay.
No wonder she wasn't as concerned about the gators as Artem.
Mhm.
Oh, look, there's Max. I get one a game. I get one a game.
I think it's only appropriate then that we switch over to Ellie.
All right then. Yeah, so Ellie felt a lot of the restrictions that come with being a member of their clan and felt very contained, even though they were able to move out of their pen for a little bit, but that was only at the uh, permission of their primogen. And so with that, with the conversation with Ava about seeing if she was able to pull a Nosferatu from their safety. There still felt like there was a bit of Ellie being moved around. So, with that, Ellie feels like they want to flex some of the muscles that they're good at. So, when they get home, they start to do the other kind of hunting that they're wont to do, which is they start hunting around either through conspiracy theories, either through just casually getting into someone's bank account and looking up some suspicious charges, start digging into people who might have something to hide and might be willing to pay top dollar and top blood to keep it under wraps.
Well, that can be a much longer conversation we have. But if there is nothing else, thank you all for listening tonight. Please join our very own Dreamy on Tuesdays over at Top Down, and Smoggles on Friday with the ongoing dating sim. Has that finished yet?
Oh, absolutely not. There's still so much more.
And every other Friday with Martell on Nights of Silver Moon and the maybe not clone children.
I can't believe they're not clone children.
Until then, thanks for watching, folks. See you next week.